When was the last time any of you guys got really excited about something you ate or drank? Like, had a wow moment. Blown away by something you ate or drank. Anybody? Please get up here, Ash, and tell us about it. Come on up. What? Oh, cheesecake.
Usually, when my mom goes to Costco and she buys cheesecake, it's huge, right? It's huge. So, we have to eat it really fast, otherwise it's going to go bad. So I eat it, in like a week, I gain like 5-7 pounds. And then the next week, I drop it immediately. I think it's funny.
Sorry, we laughed. Excuse us, Ash. That sounds exciting. Anybody else eat something that just got you going? Or drank something? Get on up, Susan.
Well, on this trip that I went on, the food was made into, I can't think of the word. It was all Mexican food. Not all of it, but most of it was. And this chef was incredible on the trip. And so all the week that I was gone, we ate so well. I've got no idea how many pounds I gained, and I don't mind.
Hooray. Anybody else get thrilled about some food item or drink? Yes.
Okay, so when family was here last week, my cousin bought these strawberries that are called pink berries at Trader Joe's. They're literally white strawberries with a little bit of pink on them. And you know when you eat a food and it just doesn't look, you're thinking a white strawberry is not going to taste like anything. Like you think it's a early picked strawberry. Anyway, they're amazing. So you bite into something that you think it was one of those, because it tastes better than a strawberry. It tastes like strawberries with roses in them or something. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, they're not there all the time. It's like a very temporary thing. So if you see the pink berry, which is a white strawberry at Trader Joe's, it's an experience.
Thank you. Any other ads for Costco today?
Honeycrisp apples are absolutely the most fun I've ever had. Mostly. Also, it's amazing how delicious a plant-based diet can be if you follow the right recipes. See me after.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great question. Get up.
I love seafood of any kind. What Carla said reminds me of a berry that I taste in Vietnam. It's like a gochu berry, but it's 10 times sweeter and about a third of the size. They're so tiny and they're so sweet, and the inside is just a gochu berry, and it's so yummy. It's the best fruit I've ever tasted.
Oof. I'm getting hungry just listening to this. We know what Calvin's going to say, but we're going to hear it again.
You don't know what I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you about the food that was impossibly delicious. Instead, I'm going to talk about a meal that I had at Burning Man that was prepared by a camp who specializes in making food. And I knew a couple of people at the camp, so when I showed up, they invited me to their dinner. And it was beef bourguignon, and I thought it was the most delicious meal I've ever had in my life at that time. But later on, when I look back at it, I don't know. Because I discovered that my state of mind affects the flavor, the intensity of the deliciousness of the flavor. And coming to a group of strangers like this, and they invite me to their meal, and this is a meal prepared by people from all around the world, really, because they specialize in making the most delicious food. So today, I really do not know Was the food delicious, or was my state of the mind prepared to receive delicious food?
Oh, that's deep. All right. Please.
So this just came to mind, but it was a few years back. I just remember being in San Diego with my daughter, and we were at a doctor's appointment for her, and it was kind of a stressful situation. And we had stopped at the grocery store nearby and had bought Bing cherries. They just came into season. And I remember growing up with a Bing cherry tree in our yard. It was always a contest when who was going to get to the cherries first, us kids or the birds. But anyway, we're in the car, and of course my daughter's really, she's always about washing the fruit before she eats it. So she had, had bottled water with her, got them all prepared. And I just remember we dived into those Bing cherries, and they were so amazing. They were so fresh, and they were so sweet. And at one point, we were just had, our fingers were red, and she just was like, "What's in these?" It was just like couldn't stop. So it was one of those moments where it was like, hit the spot, I guess.
That's great. Steve, get on up.
Many years ago, I had a huge crush on a Jewish actress named Tova Feldsha. Oh, and I knew I'd never meet her. That would never happen. But I happened to be in New York at a writers' conference at the Mitzi Newhouse Theater, and there was New York bagels and lox. Nothing compares to those. I had never had them before. I thought it was almost a religious experience. And I look across the table, and there's Tova Feldsha also getting a bagel. And I thought, wow, I could introduce myself to her. No, these bagels are too good.
That's cool, man. Oh, man. Okay. Please, Colleen, get on up. I like your mask. That's pretty hip.
One of Joan's masks I resurrected because I was sick this past week, and I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. So anyway, does this do the mask okay? All right. My grandmother's fried chicken. My grandmother's fried chicken was amazing. I went over to her house, I don't know how many times. Of course, she never wrote down a recipe. It had to feel right. It had to look right. All of that. She would soak it in buttermilk. It would be juicy and crispy and wonderful, and I cannot to this day replicate it. So it's a past memory, but it was wonderful fried chicken.
Lovely. Well, on cheesecake front, Ash, stick around long enough and you'll get some of my wife's cheesecake. My wife's cheesecake es lo mejor en el mundo. It's the best in the world. So stick around, you'll get some at some point. Are we hungry? Are we licking our lips? Yes. Well, the early Christians, they shared everything together. They did life together. They lived semi-communally, and they ate meals together all the time, shared food together. And the ritual of communion, of the Eucharist, the good gift, that's what that word means, of the bread and the wine, was just a period in the midst of their feasting together, right? So they're eating actual meals, and in the midst of the meal, they have communion, right? So the context of this ritual was in the context of cheesecake, fried chicken, Bing cherries, bolognese, and so on, right? And you can just imagine that that meal that they were sharing had an effect on the way they experienced this meal that we celebrate every month in worship. The Catholics, as you probably know, they believe, have always practice the concept that when the bell is rung in the Mass, when that bell rings in the Mass, the bread and the wine turn into the actual body and blood of the Christ, the real presence. And not unsurprisingly, when you ask a Catholic, how does that work? The answer is, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. It's a blessed, joyful mystery, which it would have to be, yes? So, to this day, that is part of the dogma, the doctrine of the Catholic Church. Along comes the Protestant Reformation in the 16th, 17th centuries, and another idea comes into play, and that is that this is symbolic. It's not the actual body and blood of the Christ. It's a remembrance, as we referenced in the scripture that we read this morning. Do this remembering me. Yes? So we eat the meal to remember Christ and Jesus and his disciples sharing that last Passover supper together. And it's symbolic as opposed to the real presence. All sorts of reasons about how this change came about. But I would suggest that today, for us, maybe there's a middle ground. Maybe there's another way to appreciate these elements. That is recognizing that the bread and the wine are more than just symbols or representations or remembrances of Jesus. They may not be the physical body and blood of the Christ in all of its gooey weirdness, but there is some way in which they are the real presence of the divine in our world. And that when we taste this bread and taste this wine or grape juice, that we're experiencing the divine directly. As you have shared about eating divine food, divinely delicious food, so this meal invites us into that experience. It invites us to eat mindfully. Have you ever done that? It's kind of a cool practice. You're having breakfast, and before you eat it, you take a little time to look at it and just be with it and prepare yourself to enjoy it fully. You got your cup of coffee in the morning, and before you drink it, you take a little time to enjoy the aroma and savor the aroma, and then drink the coffee. I'm a hot chocolate guy. I had to give up caffeine about when I turned 40. It was the saddest thing. I'm still sad about it. No more coffee. It's so sad. So I had to have some other hot brown beverage. So there are times when I'll brew up my hot chocolate in the morning and just wait a minute and just enjoy the aroma a bit before sipping it. Mindful eating, mindful drinking, it's called. It's a Buddhist practice, but it's a Christian practice too, when we mindfully pay attention to the bread and the wine. I love this ritual. It means a lot to me personally. And so I have waxed poetic about it over the years, and I'll share a bit of that poetry now, just to maybe help you whet your appetite for this meal, this sacred meal of bread and of wine, and to whet your appetite for the consciousness that it invokes and that it represents. See grain ripening, watch grapes reddening, see dough rising, smell juice fermenting. From infancy to adulthood, observe developing, watch friendship deepening. Feel love swelling. See the spread of community's web. Notice creativity emerging. Taking it in, humbled with awe, beholding transformation. Bread becomes body. Wine becomes blood. We become elements of the cosmic Eucharist. How does it happen? Secreted in yeast, hidden in the oven, obscured in the cask, unseen in the belly, occulted in the brain. How does God become food? Drink become divine. How does love smell delicious? Or truth wet the tongue? By taking and being taken, eating and being eaten, drinking and being drunk, by putting ourselves into each other and letting each other grow. This is the way war yeasts to peace, anger ferments to forgiveness, grief bakes into gratitude, hate ages into patience, pride digests into humility, and selfishness brews into compassion. Conflict cooks to communion. So take and eat, take and drink. Another Eucharist poem. I am, said God to Moses from the burning bush. Before Abraham was, I am, said Jesus. I am the vine, said Jesus, and you are the branches. Gnarled and twisted, my woody sinews holding you aloft. You, my branches, spreading and budding leaves, giving shelter, sharing beauty. I am the vine, you are the branches. We are members of each other. I need the nourishment that you pass from your leaves back down to my trunk. As much as you need the water and the food I pour into you up from my roots. Remember me when you feel cut off. Graft yourselves back onto me when you are lonely or afraid. Remember me so that together we may thrive and serve. I am the wine, take me and drink. We are one, and this is the sign. As the vine turns water into grapes, I turn water into wine. Through me you will find that you and I are divine. So let us share in the meal, yes? Share in the meal that Jesus prepared for his disciples so long ago. Share in a meal that Anne prepared for us today, setting up communion, wine in the white cup, grape juice in the brown cup. Let us come forward and taste. Taste with all of our awareness and our consciousness. Taste the bread and the wine. Taste the love that went into preparing it. Taste all the work that went into creating the elements. The work of the bakers, the work of the farm workers, the work of the winemakers. Taste all of it. Appreciate all of it with the consciousness that is the Christ. You bring alive what once seemed dead. Your word becomes as real as bread. Your love we taste in sips of wine. Your meal reveals the life divine. Come forward, take